You know, every once in a while, a company's earnings report doesn't just make a splash, it creates a sonic boom. Well, Cisco just had one of those moments. But in a world that's totally obsessed with AI software, how on earth did a hardware company post such incredible numbers? Okay, let's get into it.
First things first, let's just look at the headline number. For their second quarter, Cisco pulled in a massive $15.3 billion.
And look, a big number is one thing, but a big number that's growing? That's the real story. We're talking a 10% jump from the same time last year. That is some serious momentum.
So yeah, this wasn't just a good quarter. This was an absolute blockbuster that completely blew past what everyone was predicting.
And the success wasn't just in one little area. It was everywhere. I mean, across the board, revenue, profit margins, earnings per share, they all beat their own forecasts. Product orders shot up by a huge 18% with growth happening in every single region around the globe. It was so strong, in fact, that Cisco actually raised its financial outlook for the entire year.
So what's the secret sauce here? Well, it turns out Cisco is in the perfect spot for this AI gold rush. They aren't just digging for the gold themselves, they're selling the picks and shovels to absolutely everyone who is.
And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. The company summed it up perfectly themselves. They said there is, quote, strong demand for Cisco's technologies as we provide the critical infrastructure for the AI era. It's simple. They're building the foundation. And just how critical is that foundation? How about this number? $2.1 billion. That's how much they booked in AI-related orders in a single quarter from a very particular kind of customer. So who's spending all this money? They're called hyperscalers, and you should think of them as the absolute giants of the cloud, the companies running those massive AI models we hear about every single day. They have this bottomless appetite for computing power and, just as importantly, the networking gear to connect it all. And that's exactly where Cisco steps in. And this is the actual hardware that's making it all happen. On the left, that's the engine, the brand new Silicon One G300 chip. It's this tiny little powerhouse designed specifically for AI. And on the right, that's the giant machine it powers, the networking systems that have to handle an amount of data that is just, well, it's mind-boggling. This is literally the physical backbone of the AI revolution.
But here's what's so interesting. It would be a huge mistake to think this is only an AI story, because the truth is, Cisco's core foundational business is also just on fire right now.
A massive part of this is something called the campus refresh. Just think about every office building, every university, every private data center out there. So many of them are in the middle of a huge upgrade cycle, all thanks to the new reality of hybrid work. And this isn't just about swapping out old boxes. It's about completely rebuilding networks where super fast, super secure connections are no longer a nice-to-have. They're an absolute must.
And the numbers, wow, the numbers really tell the story. Orders for their core campus networking stuff saw growth speed up. Data center switching up by the mid-teens. Those new smart switches, triple-digit growth. And with everyone moving to the latest Wi-Fi 7 standard, those orders jumped more than 80% from just the last quarter. The entire foundation is just rock solid. Okay, so the present looks fantastic, but what's coming next? Well, Cisco is already gearing up for the next big thing, something called agentic AI.
So what in the world is agentic AI? Well, instead of you just asking a chatbot a simple question, imagine you have these AI agents that are always on. They're constantly talking to each other, analyzing data, and doing things on the network without you even asking. It creates this constant, high-level flood of network traffic that's going to make today's internet usage look tiny, and that's going to demand even more powerful and secure networks.
So you take all this momentum, from the AI boom right now, the huge campus refresh, and the future of agentic AI, and it all leads right here. The company is so confident in what's coming that they've officially raised their financial forecasts for the whole year.
So the big takeaway is pretty simple. While we're all, fascinated by the magic of all these new AI apps, Cisco is making a really powerful argument that the real long-term value is being built in the foundational infrastructure that makes all of it possible in the first place.
And that leaves us with one final big question. Cisco is betting the house on being the indispensable foundation for this entire AI era. But as this technology changes at a truly dizzying speed, the question is, can they keep this incredible momentum going?